On a few tangents, but keeping with this theme of being yourself and maybe losing yourself sometimes, I just wanted to read one other post that I wrote because this kind of speaks to how we kind of suppress parts of ourselves. Like, there's all these parts of us and there's all these things that make us up. And sometimes I feel like we try so hard to just like squeeze ourselves into one box and to like put on this mask that we forget about all of these things that also make us us. And so how do we embrace them all and how do we make them all work together? And how do we be our whole selves and realize that all of it has a place and all of it matters and all of it has a purpose and all of it is what makes us unique and all of it is what allows us to be who we're here to be and do what we're here to do. So this is another piece that I wrote. As you can tell, I'm brimming with inspiration when I get to do the things I love. So the truth is, I haven't felt like myself since I left Italy last year. I left feeling so open, so brimming with eros, so alive, so free. And then I went back home and it slowly died. So for those who don't know, last year I was in Europe for 3 months, that like full 3 months that I was allowed before I had to fly. Like I literally flew out on the day my 90 days Schengen would have expired. But the very last thing I did in Italy was I went to this retreat in a castle with like 23 other people, and we were split into like artists and muses, and it was called the Erotic Renaissance. And we were in this castle in Tuscany, and each day we were doing rituals and art and magic, and it was just like 7 days of pure bliss. And then we like fell so much in love with each other that we didn't want it to end. So we all then went on to Florence, like about 14 of us then went on to Florence together and continued the rituals there. And it was just like one of the most magical experiences. And so I was like, I'd had like 3 months of really reconnecting to my lands, of connecting to my artist, my writer, telling tales, really feeling free in this land, to then like being so open and erotic and expressive and connected and like having these beautiful rituals with people, to then come back to Perth and be in my family home. And I had a couple of stints in Bali in between, and I was in like some erotic temples there, but that's more like the kink scene, not the mythos ritual, like proper embodied dark scene. And so basically, since I left Italy in October last year, I haven't felt that depth of connection until that last week in Croatia recently, where I was like, oh, this is what my soul has been craving for so long. And I just like felt even deeper connection than I felt last year because I was open to it and ready for it. But so I've gone all this time trying to convince myself that I don't need that in my life, that maybe that's not really me. And maybe I was I was trying to convince myself that that's like not really a way of life and that temple culture is not me, and that I'd just fallen into this imaginary world that doesn't exist. And like I was in my logical mind not believing in the mystery anymore, and I kind of lost sight of the magic, and I let everything in the external world cloud myself from the reality of what I have actually felt. And the moment I got back to Italy, I was like, oh my God, like I've shut all of this down and I finally feel myself coming back to life. And so this is what I wrote. So I left here feeling so open, so brimming with eros, so alive, so free. And then I went back home and it slowly died. I felt like I had to suppress myself. I hid myself in my work because I had nothing better to do, no community, no lovers, no license, no exciting places to explore. My soul was slowly dying again. The one thing that kept me alive was the occasional drum and bass festival, but even that wasn't cutting it. Sure, I love the music, but people in Perth I just can't seem to vibe with. I always left feeling somewhat dissatisfied. Like, I don't know what it is about Perth, but people there are just like fully indoctrinated in the system, and I just want to shake, like it drives me insane. And then even in the business circles I've been hanging out in, it feels like there's always something missing because it doesn't have that eros. There's that messy, raw, artistic approach to life that I fell so in love with. And so because I haven't had access to it for so long, I started to believe it wasn't real and it wasn't possible, and I started to shut it down. And it's like the most important thing to me, that messy, raw, artistic approach to life. Give me the reckless, give me the real, throw it all on the line for love, for life, for art, for the wild, insane, nonsensical callings of our hearts. Like, that's what has been reignited in me in this past week. It's that zest for the mystery, for the magic, for the eros, for the opening up to life and receiving and just allowing life to move through you. So this week I danced and I made love. I let myself be free. I did what I wanted when I felt like it. I stayed up all night dancing and dancing. I didn't post on social media because I was too wrapped up in magical real life connection. I didn't worry what my clients might think of me. I stopped holding myself back. I remembered who the fuck I am. I stopped trying to force myself to grow up, to be something I'm not, to fit within other people's neat little boxes. I embraced who I am, and I met people who completely accepted me, just as I always have in places where I'm completely letting myself be seen. Being a raver is not just a phase for me. It's not something I wish to grow out of. It's a way of life. It's not something I could do every week, probably not even every month. But when opportunities present every now and then, I will embrace them because this is a part of me I love. If you followed me in Europe last year, you would have seen the same thing happen to me when I went to Berlin, and I went and I spent those 2 days in that warehouse rave. And there's just something about being in a space with people that are present with the music. And that's what it is, it's presence. It's the same experience you have in temples. It's that presence where people are off their phones, off their devices, and fully just present with you, connected in the moment. It is one of the most beautiful things we can experience. And obviously, I love the internet. I love what it enables us to do. I love that I can build a business on here. But I love that connection with people, and I have been missing that for months. And being able to be in a place where I got to experience that again this week just reminded me of who I am and what I am here to do. And I love that raver just as much as I love the adventurous traveler who may never be satiated until she sees every inch of the world, who delights in tasting every culture and cuisine and wishes to connect with lands and humans all over, to tell the tales of all these wonders that life has to offer. Just as I love the wild, erotic priestess parts of me, parts I've suppressed in recent months, trying to prove a point that you don't have to be in a constant state of orgasm and ecstasy to receive success in business. But if you can be, why would you not want to be? And now I feel the callings all over Europe. Friends in Italy, in Berlin, the UK, tales of temple communities brimming with life. And I was trying to convince myself that this isn't the path for me because I'm not trained in the temple arts and I'm not a temple person, so I need to focus on business. And once I have the business side sorted, then I can enjoy these things. But how much of life do we put off when we're trying to build this thing in the present that we miss out on the opportunities that are there right in front of us? And these are the conversations I've been having with friends and with people who roll in different circles who have done the same thing. You go in the masculine, you hustle, you hustle, you hustle, you build, and then all of these pleasures and passions fall to the wayside. And that is not the way I want to encourage anybody to do business. I want it to be a marriage. I want it to be a dance. I want us to be who we're here to be. So I was scared to stay here in Europe because I thought all of this stuff would pull me off course. It's the responsible thing to go back to Bali. But deep down, I realized it's also the boring and safe thing. Go back there and be alone most of the time when I've got Europe full of friends and people and all the things I love. I've been in Europe a couple of weeks and I feel so alive again, free. My body relaxes here. My heart feels happy. Why should I deny myself of that right? I'm tired of being alone. I'm tired of trying to act professional to impress potential clients. All the people I've ever hired are not pictures of perfection and professionalism. All the clients I've had the best experiences with have accepted me. So why am I putting these unrealistic expectations on myself in the name of money? Being in Europe is where I feel passion, creativity, and inspiration. Here I meet lovers with ease. I meet people who I instantly connect with, who meet me on so many levels. I'm reminded there's so much more to life than just working ourselves to death. I have friends all over, people who want to spend time with me, who do the things I love doing. Why am I rushing back to Bali to be mostly alone again? These are the questions that were circling through my mind this morning that I wrote out on paper that I'm reading out to you now because I hope that it will inspire you to choose the things you love to do too. Do not put off life to build a tomorrow when you can be living in the present today. All of these decisions, all of these things that I was trying to meticulously plan and control were coming from a state of fear because I'm scared. Scared I'll stay here and lose sight of my direction, drop the ball, lose focus, not be able to show up, not stay committed, run out of money. But why am I making decisions based off fear when my heart knows? It always knows this is where I belong. This is where I find myself come alive. This is why I'm trying so hard to get my Italian passport, because this is where I know I need to be. I've literally been here a week and I have like so many people telling me to come here and there and do this and do that. Like the opportunities here are endless. So what is the point of building business on shaky foundations? If we can't live to be our authentic selves, what kind of businesses are we creating? How can we attract dream clients if we're not even being honest with ourselves? These are the questions I want you to consider when you think about what you're doing with your own business. Because the truth is, this is my business. Authentic expression, freedom, truth, creativity, love. It's always been what it's about for me. And systems support all of that to come to be. So yes, my message is systems because systems equal freedom, and freedom is what we're here for. These are the messages that set my heart on fire. If you expect me to be some prim and proper professional who dresses perfectly and has everything planned out from here until eternity, I'm not for you. I'm here for those who don't conform, those who live and love beyond the lines. These are the people who accept me and see me and let me be me. I want to see a world where every one of us is free. And I would love to invite you to come along with me. Thanks for watching. I promise, now that I've been through all my little ranty rants, I will have some educational content coming soon, but I just really wanted to try out this new thing because I write all the time, and I know not everyone likes to read, and sometimes there's other ways to deliver a message. And so I just thought, why not try reading them out and sharing it in this way and see if it hits people differently. So on that note, my laptop's also about to die, so perfect time to shut this down. Thank you for watching.